Hey everyone, this is Anna and welcome back to my channel. So, long time no see, I know, but I just thought it'd be cool for me to go ahead and kind of answer some of the questions that you guys asked me about my first year of college and just like my experience overall. So let's just get started. Okay, just some basic information. I did go to the University of California, Davis. I'm wearing my shirt today to represent. So first and foremost, my major is neurobiology, physiology, and behavior. Also, before I answer any of the questions, please keep in mind that this is my personal experience, so your experience in college may not have been or might not be the same as mine, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so first question is about my rooming slash dorming experience. So I did stay in the dorms at UC Davis just because it was required for all freshmen to stay at a dorm, and also I think that even if it wasn't required, I would have just done the dorming experience, at least just to see what it's like, you know? I had a double, which means that two people stay in a room. I didn't get my first choice as far as what building or area that I wanted to be in, but I actually ended up being super happy with where I was living at. About my roommate, we got along so well. First of all, we knew each other from high school, so that was super good, and we just got along really well. I don't think we ever had any disagreements or anything. We're both pretty clean, we're both pretty responsible, so it wasn't anything, I didn't really have any bad experiences with her. We did have some kind of like iffy experiences with the people in our building, but you know, that's a story for another day. Okay, so the next question is, how do I get into Davis? And first of all, I didn't want to make this video about like, oh, you have to have this specific SAT score and ACT score. I'm not going to make that a video about that. If you want, you can totally go ahead and research all of that and the requirements for UC Davis. But some advice that I would give to anybody, not just going into UC Davis or trying to get into UCs, but just any college in general. First, I would say to do your research on the college that you have in mind. Doing research is really important just because it'll give you the basic facts about the college. It'll give you a location, how many students, what type of environment it's going to be. The next thing I would suggest of how to get into Davis or any college in general was to get help. College applications are super hard and difficult, especially if you're a first year student like I was. They were extremely difficult, and there were some questions that I had no idea how to answer. So I would really suggest that you talk to your counselor, talk to your family, get help from anybody that you can get help from. So, what are two pieces of advice I would give to high school students? Being social outside of class, in class, in your dorm area, like anywhere, being social is one of the most important things for not only finding like friends in college, but also they will help you create study groups. They're gonna help you whenever you have an issue or a problem at school. You'll be able to network so much, especially when you're gonna go and do internships or get into clubs. So just be social. And the second piece of advice is to have fun. You're in college to get an education and to have a future career, but you can't always just be studying. You can't always just be doing homework. You can't always just be looking at notes and writing notes. You're just gonna stress yourself out so much, and trust me, I've been there. I've overstudied. I've done like everything possible to the point where I get like anxiety. What's the most unexpected aspect you came across in college? I kind of answered these on my phone already. And what I put is that nobody cares about you. Everybody's in college for themselves, you know? And if you have a problem and don't choose to ask for help, nobody's gonna ask you, hey, have you done your homework? Hey, how are you doing in school? You know, nobody is going to ask you. We're supposed to be adults now. So if you haven't eaten, nobody's gonna be there to ask, to say, hey, Anna, you haven't had, I noticed that you haven't had any food today. You wanna come get lunch with me? Nobody's gonna do that. That's one of the biggest aspects that, you know, it hit me, and I was like, wow, I'm actually adulting. So, is there a party culture at UC Davis? Let me just take a sip of my iced coffee. Well, there definitely is a party culture, not just at UC Davis, but probably any single college that you decide to go to, some more than others. But yes, there's definitely a party culture. When it comes to just parties or just having fun in general, going out with friends, I would say go ahead, experience it. This is advice that one of my high school teachers told me and my roommate, was it doesn't hurt to go out. It doesn't hurt to go have fun, you know. Obviously, be careful. There are drugs out there that you may not know of. There are, you know, a lot of cases where things don't go the way you want, especially us being females. It's a little bit more difficult, but I think that if you're just careful, you go with a group of friends that you actually trust, you take precautionary measures, there's nothing wrong with having fun. So that's my little thing on that. Okay, next question. Oh, this one's a good one. Do you regret going to a UC instead of a community college? This is like, I feel like it's a big feud, whether it's like, oh, you know, going straight into a 4-year is so much better than going to a community college, and some people argue that no, community college route is so much better. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, it really does not matter where you start. What matters is the degree that you have at the end of the day. So it doesn't really matter, you know. Now, do I regret going to a 4-year instead of a community college at first? I do not regret it, because I worked so hard in high school to the point where I just felt like going to a community college would have been easier for me, honestly. And I'm not saying that community college are like lesser than a 4-year, but 4 years make classes or make schoolwork so much harder, and because they're 4 years, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I don't regret going to a 4-year first. And also because my financial, you know, my financial situation was good. So for me, it just made sense going to a 4-year first. My parents could afford it, and it just fit me best. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't try to go to a 4-year just because, you know, everybody says it's a better, you know, route for you. It's not always the better choice for people. UCs aren't for everybody. State schools aren't for everybody, you know. You just have to pick what's gonna work for you. Next topic is relationships in college. Okay, it's time for tea. Or coffee in this case. The biggest piece of advice I can give is to have communication with each other. College is such a new experience. There's so many things going on in your life. There's so many changes that you're going through, that it can be really, really difficult for you and your partner to maintain a healthy relationship and to understand each other. So having a relationship in college is possible. Of course it's going to be possible with communication, like I said, but it is absolutely not necessary. And it's okay to be single, you know? I've met so many people that are single and they're loving their life in college, they're living it up. Not to say that just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you can't live it up and have fun. You can always do that, but both situations are okay. What's the best memory about college? I don't have any specific like moments or days, but overall I would say that spring quarter was absolutely the best time that I ever had in college. My worst memory was winter quarter. First of all, winter quarter at UC Davis is so dreadful because it's always raining, it's always cold, like you don't want to study at all, you just want to be in bed all day. So there's that. Also, I freaking broke my leg, which, don't break your leg in college because it sucks. I'll talk about that more in a bit. So I hated that quarter, honestly. But spring quarter is when I really said, you know what? I said, you know what? It's time to just stop studying all the time. It's time to start having fun. And that's exactly what I did. I was going out with friends. I was going out dancing. I was going out to eat. I was just hanging out, going to like little kickbacks or whatever with friends, and it was so much better. I realized that going out and having a good time every once in a while was so beneficial to my grades, to my mental health. I was able to like study more, and I actually had motivation because I was having fun as well. So spring quarter was just like, it was the dopest quarter ever. Like, I loved it. Like I said, my worst memory was winter quarter. I broke my leg. For the entire quarter, I was in a cast. I had to ride those little knee scooters, which was like so embarrassing, first of all. And not just that, but it was just so inconvenient. I couldn't really like go out as much. This is gonna be the last question I'm gonna answer. So what's been your overall experience and what are my next year plans? My overall experience about college is just, it's so amazing and it's so worth it. It was such a learning experience. I grew up so much. I became so much more responsible, but also so much more just like free. I think college is just the best experience and it's taught me so much, so I loved it. As far as my plans for next year, me and my roommate that I had my first year, we'll be living in an apartment. We're so happy about that. This year, I definitely want to raise my GPA because my first year of college GPA was just like, it's so embarrassing. I'm not even gonna say what my GPA is on here. Hopefully get into some sort of, you know, social activity at school. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions, leave them down below in the comment section. I will go ahead and answer them. If you guys want to hear any story times about my experience in college, definitely let me know and I will be answering all of that. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more. I always say that, I know. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys on my next video.